Everybody, this is Angelique Tsang from Let Love Come to You, and I just wrapped up an amazing, moving interview with Joey Gould. We talked about the topic of falling in love with your spouse again and every day. And to my big, big surprise, at the end of the interview, when I really understood the potential of Joey's program and how his program and book is a paradigm shift for people who want to fall in love and who have fallen out of love with their partners. When I really understood the impact of his program on our consciousness and on the choices that we have as a couple, as an individual, as a person looking for that dream relationship, I was so moved that I spontaneously started crying. And Joey was so nice to actually console me and say, but I have that effect on every woman. They spontaneously look at me and start crying. So as you can see, Joey has a huge sense of humor and he's written an amazing book. Tell us, listeners and viewers, what can they expect when they're going to listen to our interview, Joey?
Well, again, the book is falling in love with your spouse again and every day.
Yes.
And really, just to oversimplify for a second, you'll have to pardon me for a minute because, after going to my heart for so long during that interview, I think I'm going to cry now. So I apologize if I do. But I'm a man. I'm allowed to.
I have that effect on men, Joey. Sorry.
And really where the title of the book comes from, I've been in a loving relationship with my spouse for 23 years. And again, my wife, I consider her to be the greatest relationship coach in the world because she's the one that's really brought this out of me and inspired me really to just be a better man, be a better partner. And I know it sounds corny and it sounds cliche, but my belief is that's what a man's job is. It's to be there for her woman. If she wants to yell and scream and cry and be a woman and do all the things that women do, it's my job to stand there, be present for her. And then if that doesn't work, obviously my job is just to go clean the kitchen. But because that makes her happy as well. It's amazing how that'll bring a smile to her face. Where the book came from, again, after being in a relationship for the number of years that we have, we were actually on vacation a couple of years ago, and it was amazing because we were there with our two young boys. I have a boy that's 9 and 15, and again, I've been married 23 years. Figure that one out. But it's the way it happened. It's not up to us, right? We got them though. We hung in there. But we were on this vacation, and my wife and I were spending a lot of one-on-one time together, just doing things like going to yoga classes, having breakfast together, without the hustle and bustle of the kids. The kids were off doing kids stuff. They had kids camps there and things like that. And I started getting this feeling over the course of a number of days. And it was that feeling of butterflies and that feeling of uncertainty and that feeling of excitement. And I started thinking to myself, is it the fact that I just blew way too much money on this vacation and I'm a nervous wreck about it? Or is it really something, is it something else? And what I really started to realize was, as much as I've been in love with my wife for, at that time it was like 20 years, what I was experiencing with her was the feeling of falling in love all over again at that same level that we had when we first met, if not even 10 times stronger than that. So again, being a guy, what I did was obviously I started, researching what the heck I was feeling because I was thinking, gee, maybe there's something wrong with me physically. Am I having an anxiety attack? Is that what it is? Yeah. And, I started to realize that the answers to what I was feeling was the woman that was sitting across from me at that breakfast table. And it was the fact that literally if I wanted to experience that feeling of falling in love every single day, I had the ability to do that. And all I had to do was recreate those same strategies and pull out those same tools and if I can use the expression I think they use today in dating, pull out that game that I had 20-something years ago. Yeah. And as I started to do that on a daily basis, it's just amazing the transformation in our relationship. And not that our relationship was in a bad place, but you know what? Being able to wake up in the morning and experience the feeling of falling in love, again, my belief being that the quality of our life is based on the quality of the emotions that we experience on a daily basis, the greatest feeling, the greatest emotion in the world.
Yeah, and so basically, because if you don't know Joey's book yet, it's really about strategies to create that feeling of falling in love. And you also make a distinction between I love you and I am actually falling in love with you again and every day. Which and there are some really, as I was reading, your summary for the book, there were some things that really hit me because they're literally really a paradigm shift, and it is about as far reaching as you are responsible for the happiness of your woman, to you are responsible to make your husband feel like a man. And it's really moving away from those dysfunctional blaming games where we say, gosh, I've fallen out of love and it's because I don't know you anymore, to actually taking accountability for, wow, what have I done to actually contribute to this, and to no longer see you as the person that I fell in love with. Because on a very deep level, we were talking about the stories as well, the stories of how we fell in love, how when people get back to the story, they lit up and they suddenly have much more heart energy. They're much more tolerant towards each other. They start becoming that person again when they remember the story. And you have specific strategies in your book that really help couples really recreate that, not just for the honeymoon phase and not dependent on these neurochemicals that happen in the first phase of a relationship, but more on a consistent basis. So is there anything you would like to add? Who are the people that would benefit from listening to this interview, Joey?
Well, I think that every couple out there, and I think it's just important for new relationships as it is to people that have been together for maybe 25, 30, 40, 50 years, because not only can it help people that have been in an intimate relationship for a number of years recapture those strategies and those feelings of falling in love all over again, but I think it can also help people that maybe are new couples together, new marriages to couples, new couple people that have just gotten married. What do they call those?
Newlyweds.
Newlyweds, thank you. I couldn't think of the word newlyweds. It's been 23 years since I've been a newlywed, but I feel like I am every day. But, I think it can also help them to start to create the rituals going forward, okay, so that they wouldn't need this 10 years down the road, because that's what it's about. It's about rituals. It's little things like when I get up in the morning, it's making sure that, I actually, what I do now, and this is going to sound really kind of odd and strange, but I might run to the bathroom, brush my teeth, and what hair I have left, try to comb it a little bit, just so I do look attractive for my wife, because I owe that to her. And you just said something interesting, Angelique. You said, it's our job, to make our spouse happy. And we hear so many people say, well, they're not happy, and you know what, you can't make me happy, or don't look to... I'm not going to look for you for happiness. Well, guess what? As the person that's in love with you, it's my job to make you happy. And I will do whatever it possibly takes.
What we also discussed was that people are so overwhelmed by the burdens of life, the hum and drum and the normal obligations of life, and that actually, when you look at it from I don't have time to make my partner, the king of my heart, or I don't have the time to even make her smile, make my partner smile, then your life becomes that drudgery. It becomes a burden. And what a lot of people do is then they find and seek other objects. And then, of course, the merry-go-round begins again. And to really go back to, I'm not a crybaby. What I really felt when I bursted into tears was that there was this amazing, I just felt it. It just came into my heart. I felt that there was maybe a shift in me just listening to you for an hour. And I can tell you, listeners, when you're going to listen to this interview, you're going to notice that I was playing the devil's advocate. I was being skeptical. I was being, critical. I was being real. Do you know what I mean, Joy?
Absolutely.
I wasn't being a soft, interviewer. Let's make it easy for Joey. I was coming to you with the realities of life, the realities of love, or whatever we think it is that we're creating in a relationship. So I really want to thank you for this interview. You really inspired me. I really hope that people will, listen to this interview, especially if you're struggling in your marriage or in your relationship, or if you're blaming your partner for not giving you that feeling of feeling in love, or if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I love my husband or wife, but I'm not in love anymore.
Yeah, and
We've heard that before, right?
absolutely. And if I could just quickly give some folks just a couple of quick tips that are really simple strategies that you can implement right now. When your wife walks out the door in the morning, okay, rather than saying I love you, um, it would just be as easy to say, because it wouldn't, we can all make the excuse we don't have the time to make them feel special.
Yeah.
But Angelique, if I said to you I love you, yeah, that feels pretty good. But if I said to my spouse, I got to tell you something, you look absolutely spectacular today, and I can't wait to see you tonight, it's going to totally change the type of day that she has, right?
It's going to change her state.
It's going to change their state immediately, and again, they're going to capture that feeling of, again, they're not going to just feel loved, they're going to feel like they're falling in love. Little things like, again, people say they don't have the time, to put into their partner because, again, they got to take the kids to soccer, and I got to go to work, and I have to do this, and I have to do this. What you have to do is focus on your partner. So if what you did was you took a half hour out of the next week and you sat down and you wrote them the most passionate, inspiring love letter you possibly could, and you went to the post office and you put it in the mail and didn't tell them about it, just imagine the amount of kisses you're going to get in return after you seal that envelope with a kiss. But the kisses you're going to get in return when they go to the mailbox, and rather than just seeing a bunch of bills, they actually get a love letter from you.
Oh. I think you need to, your book needs to get out there. And we were jokingly saying that if everybody would read your book, relationship coaches would be out of business. Well, I'm skeptical about that, because even if people read the book, they still need help in implementation and guidance. And and in our interview, they will find out about how we get lost in the excuses, right?
Absolutely.
How we get lost in excuses, and how it actually feels so good to blame and to stay stuck and to say, well, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. So it was a real eye opener, our interview. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for following my guidance and pursuing you to be part of our summit, because you were so busy that I lost touch with you. But then suddenly I just thought, no, I need to have Joey on my program, because it's important. Because when I spoke to you first and you told me about the book, I was like, wow. And I'm really happy that you're part of this summit.
Well, I'm really humbled and honored that you spent the time with me today. And again, I am truly inspired that everything you're doing to get, again, to create to the greater good.
Yes, both of us are. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, love and contribution.
We will talk later. You too. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.